I'm sad every day. I hated playing basketball. I hated going to practice. I hated game days. I'm telling you, you can look at my numbers. You can look at my face. You can look at my this past season. I just saw a lot of things that were said to my family about me being a cancer in the locker room.
So what made you keep going when like everything was telling you to stop?
We got to talk about the free throw because
this went so viral.
So check this out. That game, if you look at the stats, I was killing.
Yes.
And then for some reason, Dushko benched me. Dushko, coach, what the if he didn't bench me, that moment never happens because we would have beaten them by double digits. I hate missing free throws. I'm like, okay, how can I miss this where they don't have a chance to get the ball? And like, in that moment, I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna do this. I've never done that shit in my fucking life before, bro.
This could have gone wrong too.
Bro.
We said Red Star. What drove you to sign with them? Besides, obviously, you know.
A lot of things. I think the number one thing is there.
Let's go then. Chima, man, welcome on the podcast. Thanks for being here, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So we always start, with some rapid fire questions. I give you 2 options, you just choose your favorite one. Mr. Aha or Chimdogg?
Ooh, Chimdogg, because that's been with me since I was a kid and my brothers gave me that. But it's Mr. Aha. There you go.
LeBron or MJ?
LeBron.
Okay, I knew it for sure. Miller McIntyre or TJ Shorts?
TJ. Cody's my boy and he knows that, but there's no one I'm picking over TJ.
Cristiano Ronaldo or Brazilian Ronaldo?
Oh, I see what you guys did your research, bro. But Cristiano Ronaldo.
All right.
Yeah.
How You Living or MTV Cribs?
How You Living. If you haven't seen How You Living, tap in.
Tap in. It's great, guys.
Yeah. All right. Red Star or Partizan?
Red Star.
Vitoria or Monaco?
Monaco.
And then the last one, who's making the best videos? Chima or Nigel Hayes Davis?
Shout out to Nigel, but y'all know the answer.
Cool, man.
Can I add one?
Tell me.
TJ Shorts or Mike James?
TJ Shorts.
He's gonna say TJ Shorts. That's your best friend.
There's no one I'm picking over him in terms of basketball right now, especially, and in terms of like closeness in my life. Like on Snapchat, we have a 2,500 or 600 day streak.
Jesus.
It's just deep. Like it doesn't even make sense. But I'm sure we'll talk more about him on this.
Yeah.
Chima, what do we need to understand about you, or to know about you, to really understand the person we have in front of us today?
I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot, and I think a lot of it is, due to my parents and like the job that they had. They were Nigerian diplomats, which meant that we were able to travel. And I think about if they didn't have that job and I was in Nigeria the whole time, what does my life look like? What do I look like as a person? Would I be playing basketball? I don't know. So a lot of those things go to them. And I feel like growing up, traveling, living in Nigeria, Australia, Turkey, Switzerland, all before I was, 13, I got to like meet different people. I got to meet people of different cultures, and I never thought that we were different. But then when I got to Nebraska at 17 and I met people that had never left the state of Nebraska, that's when I realized, oh shit, my life was very unique. So I think most of the credit goes to that.
But you've been to so many places at a young age. I kind of had the same problem where it's hard to really identify to one specific country, or for example, I'm Romanian, but I grew up here, and then I was always seen as the foreigner. Then I went to the US, I was the European. So did you have the same problem growing up?
Yeah, but I never looked at it like that. I just looked at it like I'm grateful to be living wherever I was at the time. I think now that I know everything I know, and I think that's one of the questions I get the most, and it's probably the most annoying question, where are you from? And I'm like, do I just say I'm Nigerian? Or do I say, well, I'm Nigerian, but I lived here and I did this and I did that and did that, and I sound American, but I'm not. It's a lot. But I didn't look at it that way. I just looked at it like I'm blessed to be able to travel and make all these friends and just learn about the world like that.
During all your early life, when was really the moment where you became Chimdogg?
I think Chimdogg was probably very early. I think, it was just the character that I had, and I'm the youngest of 6 boys, and my oldest one, he's 8 years older than the second, And then from the second to me, it's an 8-year difference. So the last 5 especially were really close. We did everything together. And like in the household, it was like the oldest picked. He had the first pick of whatever. So I'm talking about favorite football teams, favorite color, favorite NSYNC member, favorite Backstreet Boy member, all those kinds of things. Like we had that, and you know, I was taught to be tough. I showed my personality at a young age, and you know, I was, you know, losing in video games early, and it made me get better faster, things like that. And you know, my brothers just started calling me Chimdogg because you know, I had that dog in me, and it was just, I had personality at such a young age, and I was a character. And
how was the competition in the household at this time?
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, so like we didn't live, so because of how my childhood was,
scattered a little bit over the world.
It was scattered, right? So like at different points I was, like in Turkey, I was with just my mom and then 2 of my brothers. In Australia, it was the whole family except the oldest one. In Nigeria, it was the same thing. In Switzerland, it was my parents and the youngest 3. So when I think about when we were most together, it was my first stint in Australia from 1998 to 2003. And like, it was crazy. In the house, it was a lot of competition, a lot of shit talking, a lot of like crying and wiping your own tears because next man up, a lot of not wanting to lose because there's 3 people waiting to play the next game. So if you lose, you got to wait an hour for the next game, things like that.
And you were the younger one.
Oh my God, yeah. And I had to wait last. I was last. But all of that shaped me, man. And you know, I think if I wasn't the youngest, I wouldn't be a professional basketball player.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you treat your younger teammates or the rookies in your team the same way that your brothers treated you?
No, it depends on who it is. I don't treat everyone the same. I think it's based on the relationship we have. And now that I'm about to be 30, I think back to...
Damn.
Yeah, first
30?
of all. So I think back to, like, I don't feel like I'm about to be 30. I still feel like I'm young, honestly. And I'm always going to have this type of personality, blah, blah, blah. But it depends on the relationship I have with the person, with the teammate, and what type of personality they have. You can't be yelling and talking shit to everyone. But I think in general, I'm like the person that's loud in the locker room. I'm loud in like a friendly way. I like to make people, you know, comfortable and smile and happy. That's what I'm described as. And I think my biggest influence on every team I've ever been on is, like, I tell these dumbass dry jokes, and I have this sense of humor that So as soon as I get to the team, like I'll like set the tone, or I'll like throw it out there,
icebreaker,
a stupid joke, and I'll see who's messing with it. And usually at the start, everyone's like, "Bro, you thought that was funny," and then within 2-3 weeks, everyone's trying to make jokes like me. So I think that's the part that I pride myself the most on.
I mean,
teammates.
you know, I'm sure living in this big family, it became like second nature for you to read people, right?
Yeah.
For you, like, what does it take, like, to earn the trust of someone?
Honestly, I'm the opposite. I'm like, I give my trust to people. I give my respect to people. And then when they show me that they don't deserve my trust or respect, then that's when it changes. But, you know, a lot of people like to guard themselves and be very, you know, closed and say, oh, I can't trust a lot of people. I don't like to think like that, because there's a lot of things that I wouldn't be here if not for other people that didn't owe me anything.
Makes sense. People
that, you know, just happened to be maybe my taxi driver, my bus driver that day. All of those people played a part into me being here. So I'm very open. Like, I'll meet somebody and like I'll talk to them like, you know, I've known them for years, and I'll assume everything you're telling me is the truth. And then if I find out that, you know, later it's not, then that's when I switch up.
But I think this is great, because you seem to be the guy that does it genuinely, and not, you know, to like be great with everybody and, you know, to make the team better. You just do it because it's yourself, right? Yeah. Do you think that this is what, you know, a team should look for?
I think it depends. I think, obviously, I'm going to say more people like me, the better. But, you know, some people are just not like me. But I know that, you know, like for me and TJ, for example, we have similar personalities. On the court, he's more focused. Even though, like, he's starting to, like, be, you know, extra, which I love. But off the court, like, we're, like, the same people. He's just 5'2", 3", something like that. But I think the season I think back to the most is when I played in Manresa. And that's the year that changed my life. It like I get goosebumps just thinking about that year, and our chemistry off the court was just it makes me tear up genuinely how special it was. And most teams are not like that, and I know for a fact that's why we were so special that year.
But it's interesting you speak about Marissa. We saw it this year with Paris basketball, that genuinely the power of friendship. It may sound, cliche, but I think, of course, you're going to win because you're united, but then everyone, individually is going to benefit from it, right? Do you agree with this?
1000%. I think, my team, starting from college, it was important to have this kind of chemistry because in college, you're living with these guys, you're going to school with these guys, sleeping in the same dorm as these guys. So you're doing everything together. And then you ultimately know everything about the people that you're playing with. And it's not just like, all right, I came here because of this team offered me this amount of money, or I had a bad season, so I need to come here and then play well. That's what it is as a professional. And, you meet people that are 33 with kids, and then you're a 24-year-old that just moved over here from some other country, and you don't have much in common, but your goal is just to be the best basketball team you can be. So you don't really focus on the relationship aspect. I learned that my rookie year, but majority of the teams that I've had success on, we had that kind of dynamic where, after the games, it's not just everyone going their separate ways. It's, at least a group of the guys doing things together.
Did you have this kind of dynamic with Baskonia this year?
No, I think not like that. I think for me, Dante Hall, Nikos, Trent Forrest, that was the group. Those are the guys that I spent the most time with off the court. I had a lot of love for a lot of the guys, but a few people had kids and wives and relationships like that. So, in Victoria, you want as much family time as you can get. But TLC, that's my brother. But off the court, he would go home to his wife because
just got one. I just got a kid.
And they just had a kid. So we definitely didn't have that, especially this past season. No.
But you said that it wasn't necessarily an easy season for you this past season.
No.
Do you think it was because you were missing this brotherhood that you need to fear yourself maybe?
It was a combination of a lot of things. It was a combination of a lot of things. I think mentally, I dealt with a lot of things, from the season before that made me upset in terms of my own fan treatment and some things that were said about me as a person.
Can you say what?
I just saw a lot of things that were said to my family about me being a cancer in the locker room.
Oh, shit.
In Spain, they said this.
Hell yeah. And this was at the end of last season where I was like, whoa, word?
Because you were going strong that
I started the first 4 or 5 months of my first year in Baskonia, I was mentally I'm proving everyone wrong, and I'm cooking. And then, things started to change a little bit, but I was still good. And then I noticed my family was getting all these messages all these messages. I'm not going to make it I wasn't loved in Baskonia. I was loved, but I definitely noticed that there was people that didn't like me there. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, for sure. There was people that didn't like me, and there was people that didn't it's one thing to not like the things I do on the court, but when you start to say things these are things that were said to me or to my family, oh, you've never played longer than one season with any team because no one likes you in the locker room. Where the fuck is this coming from?
Man, if only they knew the career of a basketball player, how it's shaped up, especially where you come from. You got to take just 1-year deals.
Yeah.
It's just constantly proving yourself.
I started off in second division. If I sign a 2-year deal in second division, what am I saying to myself?
Okay.
It was all these things where I was whoa, this is what some of these fans are saying about me. And it became wow. And then I remember the season ended with me being injured. And it was honestly, I don't even want to get into it, but there's so many things that were said. And then even with the YouTube thing, I remember, this is probably the first time I noticed it, when I made the Partizan video and the title was Best Fans in Europe.
Yeah.
I know a lot of them took offense to that, oh, he's selling himself to other teams while he's under contract. I'm just trying to promote the EuroLeague.
Yeah.
Facts,
I'm just trying to promote the EuroLeague because the EuroLeague is very behind in terms of social media, in terms of popularity that it deserves. We need more, and I'm trying to do my part. And I know not everyone's going to be on board with it, but it definitely hurt seeing that last season, and then seeing all the, there was a lot of expectations of me leaving. There was like these rumors that were unfounded about me going to this team and that team and that team.
With the buyout stuff.
No,
and
it was
everything.
genuinely, it was crazy. I'm telling you, I'm in Mykonos, I'm wherever, I'm traveling, and I'm getting messages from all these people like, yo, you signed into Barcelona, you signed into Partizan, bro, you're going there, and then like some Baskonia fans are just trashing me, and I'm like, what the fuck is this about? So that was a part of it that, you know, I was like, okay, I see. But it's crazy because in person, I never had any bad interactions.
Yes. Pap said the same. Papa Petru, he said the same. Always only social media and never in front.
Literally, some people are following me and then they're calling me a clown and saying, I can't wait till you leave my team, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay.
Did that affected your game too?
Hell yeah.
Really?
That's what I'm talking about. So after February, from February until the end of the season, I don't know who that Chima was. That was just like a detached, like, I'm sad every day. I hated playing basketball. I hated going to practice. I hated game days. I'm telling you, you can look at my numbers. You can look at my face. You can look at my this past season. I started off really well this season. I was happy. I was flexing. I was smiling. And then there was just so many things that just got to me that if you watch, I don't think I flexed one time after
that means there's a problem
from February from February when I got back until. So we got back February, played Partizan until the end of the season. Like, I don't know who that person was.
But, you know, it's very interesting you say that because I was talking with Benny about kind of like this. I've seen a lot of your games this year where first half, honestly, like, you're not even feeling like you're trying to impact the game. And then second half, you manage to flip the switch. Like, is there a reason, like, you needed maybe more time to get in the game because of all this? Or is just something natural to you to just go crazy in the second half?
No, I don't know what that's about, honestly, but I noticed that was a thing.
And also Baskonia as a whole team as well.
Yeah, that was definitely a character. Maybe that had more to do with me. I don't know, but I knew that, you know, this season I was playing a lot of minutes, so I didn't have to start the game off being, you know, scoring and doing all these things. Ideally, a good game for me is like the first half rebounding, assisting, like playing good defense. And then the next half, like, you know, putting it together, whatever that looks like. But every time I go out there, my goal is to just get as many rebounds as I can. I'm not going out there I don't even know what the stats were, but I guarantee you I probably wasn't top 5 in shots attempted this season. But I was very efficient. And, you know, there's a lot of things I can say, but I'm just, anyway.
I want to come back, you know, to your life and stuff. You said in a podcast with a Spanish woman that you never had a plan A. You know, you never had plan B or C, only plan A.
Yeah.
Is it still the same thing right now?
1000%, man. Like, if I had a plan B, I wouldn't be here. And if my plan A didn't go right, I definitely wouldn't be here. I'd be upset and miserable at life. But I knew that the rewards of being all in on my plan A would pay off if everything went, you know, in a good way. And I'm definitely like in a position where I can say plan A went pretty well, because I'm not supposed to be here, guys. Like, genuinely, I'm not. I'm really not. So like, I'm not even getting a scholarship. You know, to me was like I've won at life, because nobody made me play basketball. It was something I decided to do. It was like I made that my goal. Like, okay, if I'm doing this, I got to do it correctly. I got to give my all. I got to make these bullshit videos of when I was 14 and 15 and I was terrible, and I got to send it. I got to email it to every school I can. I did all of that.
That's
and
how you did it.
I didn't get nothing from that, but I feel like God saw that energy and he was like, okay, he's going to get rewarded for this somehow, because I genuinely, I feel like I emailed 300 plus schools, Division I, Division II, NAIA, whatever. I emailed all of them with like 2 of my videos. I'm getting goosebumps just remembering this shit right now. But like, I emailed hundreds of schools saying like, yo, my name is Chima, I live in Australia, I'm 15, I blah, 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 all this stuff. Nobody gave a fuck. And I could have stopped. Most people would have stopped. I was never like, I started at 13, so I wasn't good back then. I thought I was way better than what I was. And
so what made you keep going when like everything was telling you to stop?
I'm going to live my life. I'm going to get rewarded for what I do. If I let all these other people control my life, then what is my life going to look like? It's going to look like their insecurities projected onto me. And then I'm like, okay. So, for example, in Canberra, where I grew up, Patty Mills.
Legend.
Patty Mills is like God, Jesus. Whatever is below God and Jesus, that's Patty Mills for Canberrans. In basketball.
Yeah.
Aside from that, like the most is guys going to college and then coming back to play in the NBL or like semi-pro in Canberra. Aside from that, that's it. So it was always a thing like, why does this guy think he's going to be Patty Mills?
Mm-hmm.
Why is he dreaming of playing in the NBA? This guy's not even that good. He's crazy. So I became like hated because I was telling people my dreams. Literally, that's it. I'm telling you, like, yo, I'm going to go to America. I'm going to play. People looking at me like, and then I noticed it was a thing in the basketball community back then. Like, everyone was talking shit about me. Like, oh, he thinks he's this. He thinks he's going to do that. So every time I had a bad game, I was like breaking shit at the house, like spazzing, like thinking,
it was personal for you.
It was like, it was the end of the world every time I had a bad game. And then it was like, I told y'all so every time I played a good game. But I had that chip on my shoulder where I'm like, I can't wait to get to a point where all these people are telling me that they believed in me the whole time when I know for a fact that they didn't. And it didn't happen just like this. There were so many times along that journey where, you know, nobody gave a fuck and it seemed that they were right and I could have stopped and then just been forgotten like a lot of other people are. But I just kept going because I just know that I've heard stories of, you know, some famous people, some successful people say, you know, I wasn't believed in. I had to do this. I had to overcome this. And I always thought, are they lying? Was it really hard work or were they meant to be there? If they're not lying, that means why can't I be like them?
But at this time when everybody gave a fuck, like you said, did you believe that you could become the player you are today?
I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what it would look like. I just knew that like I was never going to be satisfied. And I knew I had goals. And, you know, the first major goal was going to college. I didn't care what it looked like, getting a scholarship to play college basketball. It happened to be junior college, but like it ended up taking me Division I. And my school has been to March Madness one time in school history. I was the MVP of the conference tournament when it happened. So things like that, I'm like, I already won at life. I'm getting paid to play basketball. Like, wow, I shouldn't be here. There's hundreds of situations that if it was someone else, they would have stopped. And you know, every day I wake up and I'm like, damn, I'm really here. I'm blessed, man.
Man, tell me about those UC Davis years. You know, people here don't know that you were a teammate with TJ Shorts. And I've seen your videos, man. The locker room was crazy. The vibes were crazy. You went to the March Madness. Yeah. What was so special about that team?
I think it was so TJ got there the year after we went to March Madness. But my first year there, I didn't play. I redshirted. For those that don't know what that means, you get to save a year of your athletic collegiate experience, but you can still go to school and like progress faster in classes and shit like that. So I did that and I was getting stronger. I was like understanding the game better. That year, Davis wasn't that good. And then the next year, my redshirt junior year, we were much better. And we had like a great group of like, it was just guys that were underdogs and guys that understood each other personally and cared about each other.
Brings you back to what you said, like feel people, trust people, and relate.
I thought that's how all collegiate teams were, and most teams were like that. But yeah, it was really special, but it wasn't always easy. I can't like just lie and tell the story and say it wasn't. You know, I feel like if we didn't go to March Madness, that season would have been a disappointment because we worked so hard and we went through a lot of shit that it was crazy. But then it was all worth it at the end. And then TJ came the next year, and I feel like that team was even more close. It was special, and I just knew like from when I met him, the year before when he took his visit, I knew that like
you
this
took
is
care
my
of
guy.
him.
Of course.
Oh man, I can only imagine like because I went to college too, and I had the old guys.
Yeah, it was.
It can be crazy, man.
It was me that hosted him on his trip, and like I just got along with him.
Nice.
And then when I found out his story of junior college, no scholarship offers, I was like, it sounds like me, just in a 5'1" body, you know.
From this crazy season, I think you almost averaged 20 your last season there, right?
Yeah.
How did you ended up only in second division Europe from that season?
Yeah, that's a great question. But something happened. I got suspended for something I didn't do. That's how my collegiate career ended.
Talking about when you arrived to Europe, you first, you said it a lot already in podcast, but your first, let's say, starting point was Rouen, where you got caught after 3 games, I think,
games.
knowing that you were cooking in preseason.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Can you guide us through again what happened?
Whew, man. Okay, so I
can feel the emotion.
yeah,
right
no,
here.
it's just crazy. Thinking back to that time in my life is crazy. But I signed with the first agent I signed with. She couldn't get me anything. I signed with a different agent that had a good connection with this particular team, and this team Rouen was managed or had a Jan Mahimi had a ownership percentage in this team. So we did a preseason in Dallas. So I worked out with I worked out in Dallas, and I ended up having visa problems. So I stayed in Dallas for like an extra 4 or 5 days, and I ended up working out with the Mavericks. And I ended up meeting my future agent, my next agent that would like get me, out of France and like to all these big teams and stuff like that, and to the NBA. But it was crazy. I felt comfortable. I felt like, oh, this pro shit is gonna be easy. I was hungry. I was determined. I'm like, I'm going second division. I'm only making this amount of money, but I'm gonna kill. But then
You didn't care about the money?
No. Yes and no, but like this is the first time I was ever getting paid. And up until this point in my life, I'd probably never had more than $3,000 in my account. And the only time I did was when I moved from Australia to America, and I got like, my mom sent me like $3,500 to like just, make it work. $3,500 back then. Oh my God! I was looking at my account every day, like, yo, I'm here. And then after I spent like a lot of stuff, I feel like from that moment until I was a pro, I never had more than 1,000 or a couple thousand in my account. So I was getting 3,500 euros my first year. That's what I signed for. And at that point, I'm like, whoa, like, okay, so this is all my money.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, so if I save this much and then this much, by the end of the season, I can have 20,000 euros. Let's go. I'm lit. So in terms of that, I was like, I'm actually really good. But then obviously I had friends that were in the NBA and friends that were playing in a higher level in Europe. And I'm like, damn, that's where I want to be. But I never took it as like I'm only getting this. It was like motivation. I'm like, this is my story, so whatever. But preseason, I remember I got there late because of the visa issues. And then it was either the next day or 2 days later with jet lag in my system. Like we played against Le Mans.
Yeah.
And Le Mans won the title the year before. And I gave him like 18 and 12 off the bench. And I was just like, I'm out of here in December. Like I'm going to get bought by a first division team. And then that's not how it worked out. I got cut after 3 games and no explanation. It was just like the coach didn't like me.
But when you were cut, first year, 3 games in, you're cut. Did you still believe in your plan A?
Yeah. It was hard, but it was like I believed in it. And this is honestly like, it's funny how this happened. But I hadn't watched Game of Thrones. I tried to watch Game of Thrones twice up until that point. And then my vets on the team, shout out to Jamar Diggs, Alonzo Coleman, Zimmy, they were like, yo, you got to watch Game of Thrones. And this was in between season 7 and season 8. So I'm like, all right. I got cut. I'm like, I'm going to start Game of Thrones now because I have nothing to do. And I still needed to practice with this team until I found a new team. So I ended up being there for 6 weeks. In those 6 weeks, I watched all of Game of Thrones. And I feel like that's the only thing that like kept me like mentally happy. Genuinely, I swear.
This is cool, man. Because I'm sure it's like practicing with the team you're cut from. Mentally,
miserable.
It's got to be like.
Every time I went to sleep, you're waking up thinking, all right, I'm waking up to try and be with a girl that doesn't want me anymore.
Yeah.
That wants to break up with me.
Still living in the same apartment.
Still living in the same tiny, terrible apartment. I remember I had a big ass TV and it was just Game of Thrones, and my living room was dark all the time because that's the mood I was in. Plus it's better to watch TV in the dark. So it was like from when I went to sleep until after practice, I was just miserable. And then I would get home, eat lunch, and I'm like, all right, I'm putting on Game of Thrones. And and I was happy. And I remember I watched all of Game of Thrones, and then it's just crazy how it happened. I finished Game of Thrones, and it felt like the next day or 2 days later, I get a call from my agent saying, "Yo, we found your next team."
Denain. Which is also not the easiest town to play in.
My
There's
God.
nothing in there.
Yo, Denain.
This is crazy.
Denain is, yeah.
Especially that traveled all the world going to Denain.
Listen, man, Denain is different. Denain is different, but I didn't care about none of that. I was just happy to get another chance. I went from 3,500 to 2,200. But, you know, I was like, okay. And at this point, I'm living off of 200, 300 euros a month, staying in the house, doing nothing. And then season 8 was coming out, I think in April or March, something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to rewatch Game of Thrones. And I rewatched Game of Thrones. So I watched it 2 times from season 1 to season 7 before season 8 came out. And Game of Thrones saved me. And then at that point, I think like February of my rookie year, that's when I stopped playing without fear.
Yeah.
I stopped playing with fear, and I just found myself. And the last 3 months of that season, I was like, yeah, I was cooking, dunking everything.
Man, speaking about your time in second division in France, I got my best friend right here. He's got to show you a picture.
I don't know if you remember this. I don't think you will.
I for sure will.
This is you and me.
That's him, man. That's Skinny Benny.
This is you and me and Quimper.
We
played in Quimper. Bro, we were cooking this year, and you cutted our fucking street out of. I was so pissed, brother.
Wow.
It was terrible.
And
yo, playing against Chima, nightmare.
Wow.
And you know,
Nightmare.
since this picture, I promise you, like for the last years, every time we saw a highlight,
That's crazy.
stories about you, you know, facing LeBron, and we always like pull up this picture, like, yo, man, look, like, this is the perfect example of believing in your dreams,
bro. Oh my God. So that COVID year was something. Like I said, I was cooking in Denain.
Yeah.
And my agent at the time promised me, like, oh yeah, you're going to first division. You're gonna go get 8,000 a month. Like, you're gonna quadruple your contract. I'm like, yo, 8,000 a month? What? Side story, right? Okay, so in that, so I don't know if you guys seen on my Instagram the dump with me and TJ.
Yes.
Yes.
The one when he's showing his phone.
Yes.
The $9.87.
Yes.
That was that summer. So I was in my head. So we were at Dante Exum's house. So it's a pretty cool story. I was staying with Dante, and TJ and my boy Mike that went to college with us came to visit, and TJ just graduated. We were planning everything, blah blah blah, and we were talking about how broke we were. And I remember he said, "Bro, I don't think I have $10 in my account." I said, "Bro, shut up. You have 100 like at least." He showed me his account, took the photo, legendary. But so that's where our heads were at. Like, yo,
crazy.
Like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm about to get 8,000 euros a month. I've made it. Like, holy fuck. And then my agent at the time said, yeah, nah, the teams, they need to see more. Denain, you were playing well, but you guys finished like 15th or whatever. Like, they need to see you do more. So you got to go back to second division. But the problem with that is if I signed to second division if I went to Quimper earlier, signed right after the season, I would have got 6,000 a month. I ended up signing for 3,700 a month. And I was like, damn, so I lost out on money going to a team that I ended up going to when I could have gone right after the season. So I was just pissed going into the season, like, okay, but I'm gonna make the most of this because like I need to get out of here after this year. And then Quimper that year, we didn't lose a game at home.
I remember this.
We literally did not lose a game at home.
I remember this.
We finished second. Tyron Johnson played for, was that Blois?
Blois.
They finished first.
Yeah.
I was second in MVP
voting.
voting.
Year, right?
COVID year. COVID ended in March, but we did not lose a game at home. And what's funny about that year is after we played the games, they had us like dressing up. They had us put on a suit to like serve the people desserts and shit. Don't ever fucking do that ever. Like in Quimper, bro. Like, yo, after playing a game, you're telling me I have to put on a suit and then serve the people desserts. Man, good game. Okay, here's a macaron. Bro, get the fuck out of here, man.
Man, you did communication. You should know how to.
Bro, it was easy for me, but it got to the point where I think by like December or January, I was like, yo, I'm not doing this no more, bro.
That's crazy.
Bro, it's true that activations, you know, for sponsors and partners in second division is weird as hell.
It's crazy.
Man.
Literally. I'm just standing there after the game tired. Like, yeah, okay. And everyone, like, because I was the best player on the team, like, they were coming to my, like, plates and getting like all my desserts and stuff like that. So then as soon as my plate is empty, my tray is empty, they're giving me another one. So I got to do more than other people. Nah.
I'm interested in, after this season, you were killing it. We obviously all knew that you're gonna be like at least First Division France after that.
Yeah.
What team gave you an offer besides Orléans?
Chalon Rams.
Yes.
I think the other Chalon as well.
Yeah.
And then it was like, was it Boulazac or something like
Okay.
that? But it was like teams that were at the bottom.
Yeah, the bottom teams, yeah.
And then Orléans. And I remember I played in Orléans and we beat them when I was in Denain. And then they ended up going up to First Division. And I remember liking the gym, and I'm like, okay, it's closer to Paris. Yeah, I like how this sounds.
You had a great team. I think Paris Lee was...
Paris Lee, Darius Johnson-Odom, Jovan Onyange, Landin Sane.
Landing Sané.
Yes.
Jamel Morris ended up coming there. Tajir McCall. We dealt with a lot of injuries. Gary Florimont, my
He knows
guys.
everyone.
Yeah.
Knowledge
Of course,
is crazy.
those are my guys. Luke Fisher as well. Like we had a pretty good team, and we weren't expected to do much, and we overcame a lot of injuries, and we finished 8th. And yeah, I had a crazy year that year as well, playing like under 21 minutes a game. I was still doing my thing.
Nice.
Bro, I have a question for you. How do you go in so many few years to serve people at Quimper after games to fucking guarding LeBron, man? Like, what's happening in between? Like,
I mean,
thinking about it, man, it's crazy.
Thinking about it doesn't make sense. Like whenever I look at that picture, I have it tatted on me right here. It's still like the background photo on one of my phones. It genuinely doesn't make sense. I really can't explain it other than I got lucky. I worked hard, and like I just think God rewarded me for how I acted and how I worked and how I behaved. And that's literally, if you ask me like somehow, would you rather play in the NBA for a year or play against LeBron? I would probably play against LeBron, because even when I was playing soccer, football, LeBron was the only reason I watched basketball. Like it was like I was so invested, fanboy, like crying whenever he loses. It was like that for me. And to playing against him doesn't make sense.
You made all of these crazy different locations, and you said that you got lucky, and it doesn't make sense. But if you could give one advice to any foreign player that comes to Europe and goes through all of this, to not quit, what would you tell him?
I mean, I would say first and foremost, I understand like the family aspect, the mental aspect is huge. I was able to come to Europe and play without being homesick too much, and like knowing what it looked like, what I wanted it to look like at the end, of my career and things like that. But for whoever is like struggling with that idea or struggling with that idea, we'll go with that. Just if you have a goal, stick with that goal. You're not going to get to that goal if you give up. And I think life is beautiful, because if we could see what would happen, it would make things fun. And the journey of getting to where I got to makes that final destination incredible and so worth it. I was saying it when I played in Davis, like what we did at the end made everything worth it. But it was like a struggle to get there, and the best stories are the ones that aren't easy. So whatever you're struggling with, keep going.
But I got like a similar tattoo, Per Aspera ad Astra, which means like through hardwoods to the stars. And it's like a reminder to, as you said, take time to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Be aware of like what you're going through, and the end goal is going to be even more enjoyable. But I feel like, as you said, it's not only about the chase of this end goal. Like you have to enjoy the process. And I think a lot of people forget this nowadays.
And honestly, not even just when you say enjoy the process, like be angry when shit doesn't go your way. Be happy, like do all of that. People like to say be even kill. I don't believe in that. I really don't believe in being even kill. I think at times, yes, you gotta like, when you're upset, be upset, but bounce back faster. That's the only thing I would say. If you're happy and celebrating, like celebrate that shit.
Yeah.
Life is so short. What if you spend your whole life, being, dramatic or being upset or being stoic or being too serious because you're chasing this goal, and then God forbid you pass away before you expect to. We all have this expectation that, we're going to do things 10 years from now, 20 years from now. God forbid, but I could die tomorrow. Obviously, I don't want to, but I don't know what the future holds for me. So I try to like live life every single day, you know, in whatever emotion I'm feeling. I like to be completely present in that emotion. And, you know, there's times where as a human, like I know I should have bounced back faster. I should have stopped feeling sorry for myself faster. But you're a human being, not a robot. Like, embrace all your emotions.
But man, you know, you've been through so many like mountains, up and downs. But one thing I saw also in one of the other interviews is you haven't seen your family in a very long time, right? How do you feel that void of the family not being around you? Like, how is it every day for you?
Not easy. I mean, that's another thing that contributed to like my sadness this past season. But like I'm used to not being with them, but it doesn't make it easy. True. I think it's a part of like my goal and knowing that that's what I have to sacrifice. But since 13, I'm about to be 30 in December. I've seen my dad twice since 13 years old. I've seen my mom 3 times. My parents have never seen me play basketball in person. That's going to change this season. Like, they're coming to Belgrade.
Oh, my God.
Like, what a first place for them to watch me play. But shit like that is it's not for everyone. You know, even when I was 17 and I moved to America for basketball, I didn't see anyone in my family for 4 years because I was there grinding and I knew this what it took. But it's never easy, man. Like, there's days where I cry. There's days where, like, I'm just, like, sad. There's days where I'll get triggered by seeing, like, someone on Instagram, like, just posting family shit. And I'm just like, you know, and I know how fragile life is, that I'm like, okay, so if I do all of this and something bad happens where I lose somebody, was that shit worth it? So, you know, that's what I think of. And I'm a human, man. It's not easy at all.
Are you playing for them today?
1000% now I am. Like, I've achieved a lot of goals for myself. The only thing that I haven't done that I set a goal of is probably, it's 2 things: win the EuroLeague and play in the Olympics. Wow. But like, I'm happy if I don't play in the Olympics. Obviously I would like to, but that's a different topic. And then I feel like I'm going to win the EuroLeague somewhere.
Red Star?
I think Belgrade would be a beautiful place. Red Star would be a beautiful place to win that.
Come on, so let's open the Red Star chapter,
man. But you know, obviously that's a huge thing. But those are just my goals that I've had. So personally, I'm happy with everything I've done. And now what gives me more happiness is like when my family tells me like, yo, we're so fucking proud of you. Like,
fire, bro.
Yeah.
We said Red Star. What drove you to sign with them? Besides, obviously, you know.
A lot of things. I think the number one thing is they're the team that was the most consistent with like showing me that they wanted me from last season.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I had 2 huge moments against them, home and away.
The little free throw moment.
The free throw. First of all,
oh my God,
we got to talk about the free throw because
this went so viral,
bro.
This went worldwide. This was crazy.
Yo, and it was an important game for them, right?
It was an important game for both of us, right? So check this out. That game, if you look at the stats, I was killing.
Yes.
I had like 15 and 9 in like 16 or 17 minutes. And then for some reason, Dushko benched me. Dushko, coach, what the... But if he didn't bench me, that moment never happens because we would have beaten them by double digits. But for some reason, like I was playing incredibly and then I didn't play like the last 15 minutes of the game. And then coach, they came back. I think Giedraitis hit like a 3 to like either make it a 1-point game or something like that. And then coach put me back in the game. We got a defensive stop and then a rebound. I got fouled. We're up 2. I missed the first one because like I was like out of rhythm, out of the game, and I was pissed. I missed the first one. I remember like my face being like, coach, like this is your fault. But I look back at the bench and like they're saying miss it, and I'm like, so now I'm 0 for 2 from free throws, and like I hate missing free throws. But I'm like, okay, how can I miss this where they don't have a chance to get the ball? And like in that moment, I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna do this. I've never done that shit in my fucking life before, bro.
This could have gone wrong too,
bro.
I've seen Okobo try to do this against Panathinaikos. Missed the whole rim, bro.
And it's a violation if you do that.
Yes.
And then they hit a game winner.
Yes.
That was after I did mine. So I did it, got the ball back, and like threw the ball in the air, and I was like, let me go home. And if you see my reaction, like I'm pissed. And I'm just doing this. I was so mad. I didn't think that was like a viral moment. I think, all right, we won the game. Now the game's over. Like, I'm pissed going to the locker room. Like, if I played my normal 28 minutes, we win this game convincingly. Like, now we gotta. That's what I was thinking. And then I saw they posted the video, and I'm like, oh, that is kind of cool. When I calmed down and I'm like, all right, we won the game. I'm good. Like, I'm like, that's kind of cool. My videographer happened to be at that game as well. He was like, bro, like, what did you just do? And I'm like, was it that crazy? And then I think the next morning, that's when it really went viral.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that's
I had a
insane,
moment.
man.
So that was the first one against Red Star. After that game, I posted, which is also now funny. I posted the song by Davido that, I knew it was a Serbian song, and I found out about the song like a couple weeks before that. And I knew it would get like some reaction. I didn't know that it would like make both of those fan bases like crazy about me. But I think that's the second thing that happened that made me like get that kind of like attention. And it went crazy. And then maybe, was that before? No, it was also before the Partizan game.
Yes.
Do you remember that
Yes,
situation?
yes.
The free throws where I made those 2 free throws
Yes.
and James Nunnally and Zach
Yes.
Leday were talking. So like after that free throw with Red Star, I had 2 things with both teams at home that was like, oh shit, this guy's kind of interesting. And then fast forward, we go to Red Star. Behind the scenes of that Red Star game, I didn't bring my passport because I thought that my EU residence card would be enough, and I was also getting my visa because I'm Nigerian. I need to get visas before time. So like some embassy had my passport, and I'm like, I'm gonna travel with my residence card. 8 hours later, being at the airport, like they finally like made an exception for me to get into the country for 2 days, play the game, and then leave. So like my team arrived at like 5:30, and I got to the hotel like 1:30, hadn't eaten. I was like tired, exhausted. Then I ended up playing a great game and having an offensive rebound at the end of that game to win the game. So those things happened where it just felt like I was just so popular in Serbia, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is crazy. Both teams asking me. You see the fans say, come to this team, but genuinely it was like, yo,
They want you.
you better fucking come here.
Yeah. It's
Do you like
crazy.
this? Honestly.
Yes and no. But then the last part of the story is the YouTube video against Partizan. That's my best video that I've ever done in terms of views. And like they loved it, and it was like Partizan fans kept saying like, you belong to us, you belong to us. Like when you're a free agent, you come here. Fast forward to now that I'm a free agent, Partizan never offered. So how am I gonna go there?
They never offered?
They never offered. I'm sure they were more interested in terms of the buyout season, from what I heard. But my communication I'm not with that agent anymore, but with that agent, my buyout was so much that like I don't think he was telling me every single update.
Yeah.
So I would see these updates on Instagram and on Twitter, and I'm like, is this true? And I'm thinking like, well, I know my buyout is this amount. So either someone's lying or I'm just not being told information because they know that I'm not leaving. So whatever. And then I think it was right before the season started where like I heard from my agent like, yo, like this buyout thing it's still not where it can be, but would you consider giving up some money to go there? Giving up some money? No, I'm not. I still have a contract. You've made me sign this contract, so I'm going to honor this contract.
Yeah.
Coming back my second year. Throughout the whole thing, Red Star was interested, and then I'm a free agent now, so all right, let's see who's really interested. Red Star was the team, and Cody was a big reason for that, and like the GM, everybody up top, the coach, players, like they showed me love, and it was like dealing with what I went through the last few months in Baskonia. I wanted to be somewhere where I was loved and needed and wanted, and that's the most important thing.
We spent a lot of time with Alex in Serbia recording podcasts. We had the president of Partizan, Ostoja.
Yeah.
We had coach from Red Star, Sfairopoulos. Bro, like when you live there quite some time and see how people leave basketball, are you really ready for what's coming?
I don't know. I don't think I don't think you can be ready for something like that. Obviously,
crazy.
you have a certain expectation, but I'm looking forward to experiencing it. I don't think everyone is capable of playing in that environment. I know I am. And I know I'm there's a reason why like they gravitated towards me, the fans of both teams, and yeah, I can't wait.
I think I have a vision right now. Final Four in Belgrade. Rest out with Chima in the Final Four. Sounds good, right?
Hold on, I'm still envisioning it. Oh,
Vision it, man. Just envision it.
that sounds good. That looks
That
good.
sounds good.
I mean, you will reach, if this happens, and I really hope it will, this is going to be like another sphere, man.
I don't even want to think about that because like that's just like legendary. So
So, Chima, how much did you sign for in Red Star?
I will say more than I made last year, and less than my next contract will be. I know.
Good answer.
That's a great answer.
That's a good
Whoever
answer.
watches this, don't steal my answer, okay? All right.
That's a good answer.
What's your message to the Red Star fans that look forward to see you play in the arena?
I'm gonna give my all. I'm gonna give my all. Like it's a place where I want to be. It's a place where I know I'm wanted and desired and needed. You're gonna get the best version of me. I don't want to make predictions, but I'm very excited about the team that's being built.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be very fun. And
They look aggressive this offseason.
Yeah. I like it. I'm super excited.
And what is your message to any Partizan fan that will see you play against them?
I would just say that I appreciate the love from when it started up until I signed to Red Star. But you guys signed Jabari Parker, and I was never offered anything to go there, so can't be mad at me. And if you guys think Jabari Parker is better, then you should be happy that I didn't go there, right?
Is he better than you?
To me. Come on, man. You know my answer. I'm not going to say he's better than me.
For sure. You got one of your boys playing in the Red Star. You're going to be teammates with him, John Brown, the third. He said some actually on our podcast, some controversial comments about Partizan. What is your opinion about, all those very hot rivalries?
Good for basketball, good for the fans, good for entertainment. It's just great. As long as it never crosses a personal line of, violence or like abuse in any way, then I think everything is fair game. And no matter who you are, if you know about basketball, like you want to tune into these games.
Yeah.
I know I always did, and now being a part of it, not just in the EuroLeague, but in the ABA League as well. Whew, it'll be crazy. It'll be crazy. So I can't wait.
We had Coach Sfairopoulos on the podcast also. That is, let's say, slightly different from your energy.
Pretty much the opposite.
What did he tell you to come?
He told me that he wanted me to be myself.
Nice.
Completely. He told me that he has a vision for the team, how they want to play, but he also wants his players to be themselves, and he coaches to use, the players' best qualities, which I love to hear, because a lot of coaches, they like to be like, oh, well, he can't really shoot that well, or he's not tall enough, or this. I'm always of the belief that if I'm here, not even just me, but anyone in general, if a player is at this level, they do something well. So what can you do as a coach to make sure that they do that thing well more often? If you're focused on the negatives, that means that you're worried that you can't coach this player to put him in a position to do what he does well at a high level all the time. That's how I look at coaching, and when he said that, I love to hear it, and I can't wait to play for him.
He's a very interesting character. Like, you just naturally drawn to him. And it's just science, everything. I can't wait, honestly. But I want to come back a little bit about your season in Monaco. Yeah, of course. I mean, it went well for the team.
Yeah.
But for you personally, I feel like you have so much more to give.
Yeah.
Sometimes you weren't even part of the 12.
Yeah.
I remember you pull up to the game with the ski goggles on the side. It was summer in Monaco with the ski goggles. But what do you think was missing for you to really exceed in this team?
The coach at the time, Sasha Obradovic, he didn't. I think the way he coaches teams, the way his teams are built, he likes to have 3 creators, and he said it all the time. And like the 4-man was kind of like a forgotten, just like do whatever, be the scapegoat kind of. And we've had plenty of conversations about it, and you've seen like in the teams before and after me, there's been a lot of 4-men that have just struggled or not played well or just been out of the rotation. And I think that's a part of everything. Not every coach is going to use you the right way. And I'm grateful for coming here because it led to me going and showing myself in Baskonia and showing what I can really do. So it was beautiful. Living in Monaco was amazing. I take the benefits in that. And I think living in Monaco was such a blessing because whenever I struggled with basketball and practice was, whatever it was, as soon as I left the gym, I was driving, looking at yachts and saying, this is where I live. And me and Jerron Blossom Gang, we were planning on, collabing on a yacht, and we need more money to do that. So,
but speaking about your teammates, man, that year you had, Jaron, Alpha, JB, Mike. Like it seemed such a cool squad, to be a part of.
Yeah.
How fun was that year? Donta Hall. I'm sure you cannot say everything, but
honestly, that year is very interesting because like I'm so close with everyone that was on that team. And like even to this day, like we have a group chat with, a lot of us where we still text and stuff like that. Off the court, like we're really close. On the court, for some reason, we weren't. Yeah. We weren't really a team, if I'm being honest. Like for whatever reason, we didn't click. We didn't all sacrifice the way we should have. Mm-hmm. And we still, despite all of that, went to the Final Four and we're one, third quarter away from going to the finals. And honestly, like that team was so talented that it was probably disappointing that we didn't win the title that year. But everything happens for a reason. But, a lot of those guys will be coming to my wedding whenever I get married. So. Nice.
But do you think now if you run it back with this team, it will be different? With, more wiser and everything?
Nah.
I don't know. This doesn't click?
I don't know because now that I've proven myself
with
as
a different coach maybe.
Maybe. But I think sacrifice is the biggest word. But like now that I've proven myself, like speaking just for me, now that I've proven myself, your ego comes into play a little bit. And that's natural. Like everyone wants to be great and help the team the way they want to help the team. And knowing what I know about that team then, I don't think it would change. But I think with a different coach, we could probably do better. We would definitely do better with a different coach, I think.
Talking about Mike that you also had on the podcast, that was your teammate at this point, that is very often misunderstood by a lot of, let's say, people, organizations. Can you understand why he's this much misunderstood, you being his teammate?
Yeah, great question. And I've talked to him about this, that's why I'm going to say this, but like the only thing I'll say to Mike is that he knows he's misunderstood. He just doesn't care to be understood. So whatever narrative people have about him, he'll let it be. A lot of us will we try to control the narrative because we don't want, a certain perception about us as athletes or as people. He knows that there's a certain perception about him. He doesn't really care, which I applaud him for.
Yeah.
But it causes a lot of unnecessary things. But getting to know him and now that he's my brother, I understand him. The people in his life understand him, and that's what's most important.
You spoke about ego in Monaco. If you want my honest opinion, I feel like every player that comes here automatically has more ego for some reason. I don't know. Is it because you can maybe lose yourself a little bit in Monaco, or?
I don't know. I don't think, for me at least, that wasn't the correlation. It was my first EuroLeague appearance. I was coming from the NBA. And I remember watching EuroLeague games and watching Monaco in particular and thinking okay, I think I can help this team, at this position especially. And it just didn't work like that. So I can't really speak for other people, but I think as a professional athlete, you should have an ego.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can hurt you, but if you don't have an ego, you get stepped over and you just you end up becoming useless.
Yeah. Talking about stepped over, we always ask this question: who's the player that you struggle the most playing against in the EuroLeague?
I don't think it's a player for me. I think it is Monaco, though.
As a team?
Yeah. I think especially my first season in Baskonia, I was killing. My very first bad game was against Monaco. The very first game I had in double digits was against Monaco. And, those are my boys. So, I seen them the night before, and they were talking oh, yeah, you're not scoring double digits tomorrow. And I was like, the fuck out of here. and I scored 4 points in that game, and it was like, it was just bad. It was everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Like the refs are letting Jerron flop, and JB grabbed me and Alpha untie my shoelaces, and like
I hear a lot of excuses right here.
okay, so fuck you. But no, it happened the way it was supposed to. It happened the way it was supposed to. And then in Monaco, like it was just random stuff. I played better this season, but I didn't have the game that I expected to have or wanted to have. And obviously it's a combination of them having, great defenders and great, communication. And they were also very motivated to play against me because, I was playing well, and, those are my family members. So I wouldn't say a player, but I would say definitely them.
I think our viewers know that I'm a big Monaco fan, obviously, and I have to say, because we have Jaren right here in the pod, and I think we will put that clip, right on there. Tip dunk for the win, right, against Baskonia.
Don't put that clip on there, man.
All right, my man. So tell me about this moment, please.
Mike James was cooking in that game.
No, I'm talking about this particular player, Jaren Blossom game. How did you feel?
I hated, like, he's my brother, but genuinely, like, and this is not a joke, I hate everything about him. Literally, I do. Like, I don't know why I'm friends with him. I don't know why I go to Mykonos with him. But I do. And the fact that he was the one to get that putback dunk.
Man.
And then he stared at my bench like that. And then he looked at me and bumped me and all this stuff. And it was just horrible. It was horrible. It couldn't have happened to a worse person.
Because this year when you played in Monaco, you almost beat them, right?
Yeah.
And I saw it was all game, man. You between Alpha and Jaren just chirping. But I feel like they were doing it more to you than you to them. You're minding more your own business.
Because like it's a combination. Like I'm saying, like I said before, it was a combination of Alpha. The first year was Alpha, John Brown, and Jerron. This year was Jerron and Alpha, and it was like nonstop. And both of them are like bumping me.
Man.
It's just, and the refs are not seeing them, but like it's like crazy. And then the second person to react is the one that gets the call or whatever. But no, it was, it was fun. It was fun. Anyone that knows our relationship, like, should enjoy that aspect of it. But no, it was great.
You're an entertainer. I guess that you would enjoy having an All-Star Game in the EuroLeague.
Yeah.
What would be your starting five? Let's say
Team Europe versus Team USA.
Yeah, I think it has to be Team Europe versus Team USA. Or Team World versus Team USA, I would say. Based on last season or based on
who you choose?
Based on last season, Team USA would be TJ, Kendrick Nunn, Nigel Hayes, Zach Leday. I think he had a better season than me, so I'll put Zach Leday in there. And then as a center, it's the part where, as a center, Devin Booker.
Okay.
Devin Booker. I think based on last season, that's the starting five. And then Team World.
So you're putting yourself in Team USA?
You don't.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm Team World. Team World would be Maledon. Vezenkov and Mirotic have to be there. 3, 4, whatever you want. The 5. Why am I blanking out on the 5? Milutinov. Lesort got hurt.
Tavares still a little down this year.
He didn't have the year that I thought he didn't have the Tavares year, but like he's like an easy throw-in pick. But yeah, for that reason, we'll go Tavares, and then I think Mario Hezonja had a really good season. Am I missing somebody?
No, but now you would put Mario at the 2, right?
Yeah, Mario. Yeah. Fournier had a good season. I think Mario had a better season, so I would put Mario at the 2, and then Fournier and myself off the bench, and other people. Yeah.
Do you think if there was a All-Star weekend dunk contest, you would like to take part in something like that, or old legs?
Oh, I'm washed. I can't dunk like I used to, bro. It's bad. But for the dunk contest, I think Dante Hall is for sure in there.
Oof, dangerous.
Tyreek Jones is. I don't know if Tyreek Jones can do like many tricks in the air.
I like the centers like dunk.
Yeah,
they're
it looks
strong.
it looks different.
Yeah.
I prefer like powerful dunks.
Yeah.
But I would have Tyreek Jones in there. I don't know if, you know, the flexibility and all that, but I still want to see him dunk. The kid from Berlin, Procida,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have
Yes.
him
Okay.
there. And then Saban Lee. I think that would be
Yes.
my
Saban
four-man
Lee.
dunk contest.
I mean-
that's tough. That was tough right there.
You just said, you know, you like powerful dunks. So just a little question here. Remember the dunk contest, Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon.
Oh, my God.
So do you think Aaron Gordon should have won?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was good that we had the dunk off, but the problem was Aaron Gordon did that. He did the dunk, whatever. I don't even know what 180 like cradle, and then Zach LaVine did the same dunk right after. He can't get a 50 on that dunk. If he gets a 49, it's over. So, but I think it was amazing.
Chima, last question. If one day everything is over and you're leaving this world, what do you want to be remembered for?
Authentic, you know, was myself, good energy, memorable with like my personality and how I made people feel and smiling. And, you know, I want to be like a symbol of hard work to inspire people that feel like that they can't make it, that they won't make it. Because genuinely, and a lot of people that, you know, become successful say, if I can make it, then anyone can. And I genuinely believe that. There was nothing special about me before like I got here, and some people look at me in a way that I don't look at myself. I still feel like I'm a normal person. I know I am, and some people think, oh, because he's a professional basketball player, like it must have been easy for him. It was genuinely not. And nobody gave me this dream. Nobody put a ball in my hand to say, go and do this. It was me believing in myself, but also, like I said earlier, just I had luck along the way, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful for everyone that was in my life. So
If you could say one thing to young Chima in Canberra, what would you tell him?
keep doing exactly what you're doing. It worked out.
Brother, thanks a lot, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, brother. It was
Appreciate
amazing,
you guys.
bro. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amazing, brother.
Yes, sir.